Okay, here is my pork belly that has been curing for a couple of weeks. I'm sorry I didn't make a video of this, but the cure is like, salt, sugar, black pepper, red chili flakes, and then Morton Tender Quick is like the curing agent. I'll post the recipe below. Anyway, so for now, we need to take this out of the bag, rinse it under cold water, and then we're going to put it on this tray and sprinkle on some black pepper. Okay, I've got my cured pork belly rinsed. It's definitely firmer than it was before curing, so something clearly happened. I'm going to put on some more black pepper. As I mentioned, you don't have to. There's already black pepper in the cure, but I like black pepper, a lot of it, so that's what we're doing. And I should also mention that the basic recipe here I got from the blog heygrillhey.com. I think Susie Bowman is the person who publishes that. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Again, I'll post it below. But the recipes from that blog tend to be pretty reliable. You're not going to have like Serious Eats style crazy flavors and that sort of thing, but you're not going to be steered wrong. Like they tend to always work, which is why when I'm trying something relatively new or don't have something developed myself yet, that's one of the places that I go for grilling and smoking recipes. Okay, that's probably enough black pepper. So now I'm going to just move this to the fridge, and we're trying to form what's called a pellicle on the outside of this, which is like a sort of a proteiny layer that forms after you brine something and when it dries. And the pellicle helps smoke flavor to stick. So it's pretty easy to do that. It just takes some time. So again, rinsed it, pepper on it, and we're just going to put it open in the fridge here overnight, and by the morning we should have a nice pellicle and we'll be ready to put it on the smoker. Okay, here's the plan. I've got coals in like 2/3 of the Smoky Joe here, and the other third is empty. I'm going to light this is like a quarter of a chimney. It's a really small amount of coals in the chimney with a paraffin tab. When those are, gray, I'm going to put those into the empty third here and hope that it kind of burns slow-ishly that way. So it hopefully lasts for a while. And I'll throw some more chunks of wood on top of the hot section. This is apple wood. You know what? This is maybe too much. Well, whatever. This is my first try. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, once that's lit, we'll let it burn a little bit, and then we'll throw the lid on and connect the duct to the the Weber Smokey Mountain. I will put in a temp probe here to make sure that I'm not getting too hot, and then I'll also put a probe into the bacon to track how it cooks. So that's the theory. Let's see how it goes. Okay, here we go. I've got my coals lit in there, and I've got some wood. Sorry, I'm just nervous. This is kind of wild to me. It's working. There's a lot of smoke coming into the smoker. Not anything really leaking. That's good. I should mention it's like 38 degrees outside right now, which will make a difference in how things cook. I have the baffle, the vent on the bottom of this, like probably 2/3 of the way closed. We'll see if that's the right decision. Anyway, I'm gonna let this kind of equilibrate for a bit before I put on the bacon. Okay, the smoker's been going for 45 minutes to an hour, something like that. You can see there's a lot of smoke coming out, which is good. The temperature is kind of low, 62 degrees. It's lower than I expected. I think that actually might be a blessing, though. So we'll see. I opened up the smoke box a couple minutes ago to make sure it was burning well, since the temperature is so low, and it is. It looks like it's burning very slowly, but consistently. So I'm happy with that. So now it's time to put on the food. The pork belly, cured pork belly for bacon, and to fit the stereotype of all my friends, to put some cheddar cheese on here, because I wouldn't be me without doing that. So I'm I'm going to put the thermometer in here, even though at this low of temperature it probably doesn't matter, and then load it up. All right, that's it. The bacon's on, the cheese is on, smoke's going good. Put the lid on here. And I'm going to let the bacon go for about 6 hours, depending on what the temperature does, and the cheese for 2. It's been 2 hours since the food went onto the smoker, which is about what I was planning for the cheese. So I'm going to take that off and re-up the fire. Let's take a look at how things are going. It doesn't look very different. Guess not terribly surprising. It shouldn't be very hot, so I can just grab it, set it aside for now, close this back up for now, and then I'll add some charcoal and some wood, and we'll keep going on the bacon. The sun is going down on this rather lovely November day. You can see that still getting a little bit of smoke. Gotta look really closely, but not so much. Not as much as we were before. So I'm going to check the firebox and make sure we still got fuel, because we'd like to keep smoking for about another 2 hours. Okay, there was plenty of fuel left. It just wasn't burning very vigorously, so I opened up the vent in the bottom of the smoke box, and you can see we're getting much better smoke output now. So hopefully this will be good for the next 2 hours, and then we can pull our bacon, and maybe we'll try it tomorrow. Maybe this has something to do with like the time of day and the temperature outside, but I just came out here to check on the smoker to make sure there was enough smoke coming out of the top, and it looked like it had died down quite a bit again. So I took a closer look, and even though there was nothing coming out of the top really, there was a lot of smoke coming out of the bottom. I had the bottom vents open, and I've had them open all day. So I don't know what changed, because I wasn't having that problem where the smoke was sinking until just recently. So anyway, I closed up 2 of the bottom vents. I left one open because I sort of have to for when I do hot smoking. And now it's smoking a lot better. So kind of strange observation, but things are still going fine. It has been 6 hours since we started the first cook on this cold smoker mod for our Weber Smokey Mountain. And now it is time to take the bacon off. One of the nice things about this cold smoking is that none of this is hot. It's on the cold side, of course. You can see the bacon. It's kind of dark out here, so hard to actually see if there's anything different about it. Gotta pull the probe out, which, as predicted, didn't really do us much good. Then got a plate here. Just throw that on. Okay. And we'll take this inside and see how we did. Here is our smoked bacon, smoked for 6 hours over apple wood on the cold smoker. The maximum temperature that it got inside was like 60-some degrees, so really, not high at all, but should be good. Smells like smoke, and one of the interesting things about this cold smoker is that it's much easier for me, at least, to tell like the characteristics of the wood. Like, this smells much more like applewood to me than I would use applewood in the hot smoker. Anyway, we're gonna let this rest in the fridge unwrapped for a little while to just cool down the outside. Then we'll wrap it in parchment paper for the night, and tomorrow we'll slice off a piece and give it a try. Okay, it's a day later, and it's time to try our cheese and to slice our bacon. This is the cheddar cheese raw that went under the smoker, like the other half of the block. This is the smoked one. You can see it is a little bit darker, especially in the corners, and it is harder on the outside, but it slices fine. Let's see how it tastes. Oh yeah, it's dried out a little bit. That outside, plus a little bit waxy, but it's very smoky. Clearly applewood smoke, but it's not overwhelming. I think that turned out pretty well for our first try. Here's the bacon. It's been sitting in the fridge overnight, and I've got a very long slicer. I'm going to cut it into nice thick strips and put it on that plate for now, and then we'll pack it and freeze it. Here are the finished products. I've got just over 2 pounds of thick sliced applewood smoked bacon. And here I've got a little over a pound, 19.5 ounces of cubed bacon. This is a little bit less than a 1-inch cube. And it's sort of fun to have this different shape because they cook up with a really interesting texture compared to normal bacon. Like they're crispy on the outside, but then like very juicy and soft on the inside. So use those for stir fries or, you know, soup or whatever. I'm not so sure yet. But yeah, now I guess the only thing that's left to do is to give one of these a try. Here it is, our first cooked piece of home smoked applewood bacon from the cold smoker. I slow cooked it with the air fryer in the basket at 300 degrees. So it took a while, but I wanted to just do that so I didn't brown up too much on the outside. Let's see how this tastes. Okay, here goes. The first thing that I get is sweetness. There's sugar and brown sugar in there, so that's no surprise. Next is salt. It's pretty salty. It's not overly salt, not offensive, but you know, salty like bacon should be. The apple flavor is there, but it's much more subtle than it was with the cheese. The texture is fantastic. It's really crispy on the outside, but then juicy on the inside. Yeah, overall, really happy with it. I might sneak in a little bit of hickory next time to get a little bit of a stronger flavor. But for the first try with the cold smoker, this was a definite success. Recommend you try it yourself. If you have a Weber Smokey Mountain smoker, you go ahead and do this modification that I did. You won't be sorry. And thank you very much for watching.